Our journey commences in 2016 with the unexpected victory of Donald Trump, a businessman with no political background. A man known for his real estate empire and reality TV show, Trump emerged as a political outsider with a promise to disrupt the status quo. His campaign strategy was as unconventional as the man himself, a blend of bold promises, fiery rallies, and an active social media presence. He pledged to "Make America Great Again," a slogan that resonated with many Americans who felt overlooked by the political establishment. The climax of this political roller coaster came on election night. Against all odds and predictions, Trump triumphed over seasoned politician Hillary Clinton, causing a seismic shock worldwide. The political novice had achieved the seemingly impossible. Thus began the era of Trump, an era marked by unconventional leadership and unprecedented events. Upon assuming office, Trump was quick to implement his domestic agenda. His focus was largely on economic policies, and he initiated a sweeping tax reform, known as the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, in late 2017. This act reduced corporate tax rates and provided temporary tax cuts for individuals. Meanwhile, Trump's administration prioritized deregulation, rolling back many regulations put in place by previous administrations, especially in the areas of environmental protection and financial services. The goal was to promote business development and economic growth. Then there was the matter of the judiciary. Trump appointed a significant number of conservative judges to federal courts, including 3 to the Supreme Court. These appointments have had a lasting impact on the American legal landscape, influencing decisions on issues ranging from immigration to healthcare. These policies aim to stimulate economic growth and, according to Trump, put America first. They marked a definitive shift in domestic policy that reflected Trump's business-oriented and conservative approach to governing. A major flashpoint during Trump's presidency was his stance on immigration. The Trump administration took a hardline approach, advocating for stricter immigration policies, including the controversial proposal to construct a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico. This was a cornerstone of Trump's campaign, and he remained committed to it throughout his presidency. The idea was to reduce illegal immigration and drug trafficking. However, critics argued that it was impractical, costly, and inhumane. They pointed out that most illegal immigration occurred through overstayed visas, not border crossings. The wall's potential environmental impact was another concern. The funding for this colossal project became a contentious issue, leading to the longest government shutdown in U.S. history in late 2018 and early 2019. It was a tug-of-war between Trump, who demanded billions for the wall, and Congress, who held the purse strings. These policies sparked intense debates about national security, humanitarian issues, and the American dream. On the global stage, Trump's America First approach was evident. His administration was marked by a shift away from traditional diplomacy and towards a more transactional, deal-making approach. This was seen in his engagement with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un, where he took the unprecedented step of meeting face-to-face in a series of historic summits. While these meetings were hailed as groundbreaking, the tangible results were mixed, leaving many to question the efficacy of his unconventional tactics. Trump's foreign policy also saw a significant pullback from international agreements. His withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal signaled a retreat from multilateral diplomacy, raising questions about America's commitment to global cooperation. In addition, the Trump era was marked by trade tensions with China. A series of tariffs and retaliatory measures escalated into a full-blown trade war, causing ripple effects across the global economy. These actions raised eyebrows and dominated international headlines. 2020 brought an unprecedented challenge, the COVID-19 pandemic. As the world grappled with a health crisis of monumental proportions, the Trump administration had its own unique response. Central to this was Operation Warp Speed, an initiative aiming to produce and deliver 300 million doses of safe and effective vaccines by January 2021. This ambitious program, unprecedented in its scale and speed, was hailed as a triumph by some, a beacon of hope in the midst of uncertainty. However, the administration's overall handling of the pandemic stirred up a whirlwind of debates. Critics pointed to delayed responses, contradictory messaging, and a perceived lack of a cohesive national strategy. These concerns raised significant questions about leadership and crisis management during the most testing of times. The handling of the crisis remains a point of contention. It's a chapter in the Trump presidency that, like the virus itself, left no corner of the country untouched. Trump's presidency was marred by not one, but two impeachment trials. The first took center stage in 2019, revolving around allegations that Trump had sought foreign interference in the 2020 presidential election. The charges: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress related to his interactions with Ukraine. Despite the serious allegations, Trump was acquitted by the Senate. Not even a year later, the stage was set for a second impeachment trial. This time, the charge was incitement of insurrection, a result of the shocking events of January 6, 2021, when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the United States Capitol. The second trial took place after Trump had left office, a historical first. Again, the Senate acquitted him, but the trials left an indelible mark on his record. These trials added another layer of controversy to his presidency. The culmination of Trump's presidency came with the contested 2020 election. This year was nothing short of eventful. Trump stood against Joe Biden, former vice president, in a race that was closely watched worldwide. Following the election, Trump made claims of widespread voter fraud, shaking the very foundation of American democracy. These allegations, however, lacked substantial evidence and were largely dismissed by the courts. This period also witnessed one of the darkest days in recent American history, the storming of the Capitol. Trump's supporters breached the building in a tumultuous event that shook the nation and the world. This tumultuous post-election period marked a pivotal moment in Trump's presidency and American history. Legal challenges abounded, but none managed to overturn the election results. The baton was passed on January 20, 2021, when Joe Biden was inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States, marking the end of the Trump era. Reflecting on the Trump presidency, opinions are sharply divided. To some, he was a maverick, shaking up the political establishment with bold policies and a direct, unfiltered communication style. They applaud his economic initiatives, his stance on immigration, and his commitment to putting America first on the world stage. Conversely, critics argue that his leadership was marred by controversy, division, and an unprecedented level of political turmoil. They point to his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, his impeachment trials, and his refusal to concede the 2020 election as key points of contention. Regardless of one's perspective, it's undeniable that Trump's presidency has left a lasting imprint on American politics. His influence can still be seen in the intense partisanship that characterizes our current political climate and in the ongoing debates about the direction and identity of the nation. Regardless of personal views, Trump's presidency continues to shape the American political landscape.